guys, you guys are watching Soulful Discussions. Stay tuned.
All right, so hi, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. How did you and I meet today?
We met walking around Heisler Park.
Absolutely. And so I approached you about doing an interview for my YouTube channel. Do you remember what we were going to talk about today? I kind of gave you two topics that is like going to be
exposure therapy, and then you were talking about modeling. And
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. I kind of gave you a little information about exposure therapy. When it comes to that for you, like new situations, new opportunities to do something, they can sometimes be scary. How do you kind of handle that? Are you somebody who usually has to think about it for a while? Or are you somebody who kind of just goes with the flow? What's your process?
I probably jump in a little bit faster than I should in a lot of situations. Trying to be more cautious and adult with some of the decisions I make, like monetarily, but a lot of times I kind of just try and go with the flow, and good things happen a lot of the time.
And I think it's kind of hard, right? Because like you never know until you know, right? Like,
right.
You start walking, and then it's like you may not see anything for a while, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But I think if you live life in fear of making decisions, or like, oh, I had a past situation went like this, right?
Yeah.
Every situation is not the same, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's kind of what's helped me out. Like I think a lot with this. Like when I started hearing that and I actually started trying it, I'm like, oh, like there's really nothing that's gonna happen that's like gonna harm me or anything like that. It's just, you know, I might not get the outcome that I want necessarily,
right.
But like you said, each situation is not the same. So,
right.
Let me ask you this: what's something that you yourself you like that other people might find to be weird? That other people might look at. It might not necessarily be something that's weird either. Like it could be maybe the way you eat your food. Like some people eat ketchup on pizza or stuff like that. Do you have anything like that?
I mean, for like food stuff, I eat ketchup on rice. I mean, that's kind of weird.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one before. Okay, that ketchup on. What is your reasoning for like ketchup on rice? Is it just the taste? Or?
I guess so. That's just something that like my family and I used to do when we were younger. We also like birthday parties. We would mix our ice cream and cake together in a bowl and eat it that way. So that's just something like our family would do. I don't know. We're kind of strange.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, like if you like it, like that's all that matters.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean it's a little sugar heavy, so I try not to do that anymore. But I mean that's something that I used to do a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah, I know I have cousins who would do sugar on rice.
Yeah,
like they would do the sugar and I was like, okay, we don't.
That's a very
butter.
Yeah, that's a very Asian thing too. Sugar on rice. So
I mean, nothing wrong with that, man. If you like it, that's all that matters.
For sure.
In terms of when it comes to anxiety, all right, and you don't have to go too in depth with this question. You can just give a surface level answer if you like. But is there anything that brings you anxiety? And if so, when you feel like you're experiencing anxiety, what do you do to counteract those emotions?
I mean, like everybody else, I get anxiety a lot when you think about money, bills, responsibility,
Future, right?
adulting, family stuff. So that's something that comes up a lot. For me, I come out here twice a week, de-stress, hang out in nature, and try and just relax and unplug.
Yeah.
So that's something that I try and do at least 2 or 3 times a week.
That's dope.
That's kind of the way that.
Right?
Yeah. Just kind of step away a little bit, at least for like an hour.
For you, right?
Totally.
Absolutely. That's really dope. Okay, let me ask you some of these questions now. What are your thoughts about your feet? How do you feel about your feet?
Fine. I mean, when I was a kid, I thought they were huge and like Flintstone feet. I used to watch a lot of the Flintstones growing up.
I love Flintstones.
So that was one of those things. I have really wide feet. And
did you ever get teased? Anybody ever make comments or anything like that?
Not so much teased, but I mean, was
maybe
one of
like
those
observations. Somebody's like,
yeah. I mean, some people would have like cute little dainty shoes, and meanwhile, I had like larger sized. I wouldn't go like Peggy Hill. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
I wouldn't go like Peggy Hill, but like,
Somebody brought that up to me on one of my previous interviews where they were like, you remember the episode of Peggy Hill? And I was like, made me think about it. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, definitely don't have a size 16, that's for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, like a 9.5, something like that. And, the wider the better. I like, skateboard shoes because they're comfortable.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Yeah, that's really dope. Have you ever received compliments? Is Anybody ever told you, hey, I think you have nice feet?
I mean, if you take care of them, go to pedicures and stuff, you know, you get the, oh, those look cute today
Yeah,
kind of thing. So, sure.
So you had that happen before?
Yeah.
Okay. We talking men, women?
I mean, like my mom or my husband will tell me my toes look nice if I take and get them done or if I do them myself. So
nice. And then let me ask you this: so you get a compliment about that because that's what from people you know.
Yeah.
If you got a compliment from a stranger, like somebody said to you, like in passing, like, "Oh, hey, I think you really have nice feet," what would your reaction be? How would you feel about it?
I'd be complimentary, thank you, smile, that kind of thing. And
okay. So you wouldn't feel any angst or anything like that. You would just kind of just take it as a compliment, just oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I smile a lot, so I interact with people really easily, and it's one of those things.
That when I approached you, you were just really approachable, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this: in terms of compliments, and not just physical compliments, but compliments in general that you've received, from people in the past. What would you say was your favorite compliment? Who's man, that made my day. It made me feel good that somebody said that to me.
I mean, I've been told just recently at work that, my work is appreciated and that they like having interactions with me at work, that I make their day easier. So it's nice to be told as a person that the things that you do have an impact, or that, you're worth having around, or that the things that you're doing make an impact on others' lives. So that's definitely something that is always great to hear.
100%. I usually get energy, people will tell me they like my energy.
Yeah.
And I don't try to do anything different. I just when I meet people, I just try to be who I am.
Yeah.
And, so
it's just what you put out.
Correct. So when people say that, I'm okay, that feels pretty good, because then I know I should just continue to keep doing what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: how often do you get pedicures?
I would say every 4 to 5 weeks about.
So about every month, or maybe it bleeds over a little
Yeah,
bit.
Yeah. I'll either go or I'll do them myself at home.
You do gel or you do regular?
I'll usually do, if I go, I'll do regular, and then if I'm doing them at home, I'll do gel or these gel stickers that I put on just if I want the longevity.
Longer, right? Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this: have you ever heard of a medical pedicure before?
I've heard of them, never had them.
Okay, so you've heard of them. You know what the process is.
Yeah.
Go to a podiatrist. They take a look at your feet. They check your toenails, make sure your toenails are growing correctly.
Yeah.
They check your feet for dead skin, fungus, do all the work there with medical grade equipment. It's actually the cleanest possible pedicure you could get. So you said you've never gone. What would your thoughts be on going to go see somebody like that who could give you more information into what's going on with your feet? Tell you hey, use this type of lotion. This is best for your skin and stuff like that. What would you think about that?
That would be fine. I'd be open to that.
Nice. You said, I think you kind of said earlier, but I'm gonna ask this question anyway. If you could only wear one type of shoe, or a style of shoe, brand, for the rest of your life, couldn't choose anything else, what would you choose?
Now, I like skateboard shoes because they're comfortable, but I live in flip-flops.
Oh, okay. It's Cali though, right?
I'm Hawaiian too, so I've grown up in flip-flops. If I'm not barefoot, I wear shoes here because I can't walk around in flip-flops as fast as I want to. So I wear shoes just to be safe. But I live in flip-flops almost year-round.
I've never been to Hawaii, but so back home, is it a lot easier in terms of traveling with flip-flops because it's mostly beach and stuff like that, or what is the difference?
I mean, there's a lot of areas that are beach. My mom lives in an area that's more jungle, so I mean, it does get kind of muddy, and there's grass that grows over the lava rock and stuff. So I mean, it can be you still need to wear proper shoes depending on where you're at. But I mean, if I have the opportunity, I'm going to be rocking flip-flops.
That's dope. How often? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to know what this answer is going to be, but I'm going to ask anyway. How often do you go barefoot?
Every day, at least a couple of times a day.
I figured. I was as soon as you said Hawaii, I was
yeah.
Pretty sure. And let me ask you this: most people who I've talked to, I've interacted with, especially most people who are into yoga and things like that, they talk about the difference that you feel from going from out of shoes into being barefoot, and how it's almost energy that you get from the earth, things what are your thoughts? Is it similar? Or?
It is, yeah. Okay. You can definitely feel a difference being in shoes and having that different connectivity with the ground. But you also need to know where you are and where you're at. I wouldn't be walking around here barefoot.
Everybody walking around with
There's
their dogs and stuff.
too many dogs. I've seen people break bottles and glasses and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
just for
No.
safety and cleanliness purposes, probably not the best up here or even down on the beach where you can still have your dogs.
Do you experience a lot of that back in Hawaii, or is it a little bit different?
It's in Hawaii, you can get it there too a little bit because you also have lava rock. So if it's not one of those areas where it's softer sand, you can tear up your feet pretty easy.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You definitely got to be
even in the water.
Wherever you go, you definitely just like need to be aware of like kind of what you're getting yourself into, like what you're stepping into.
Exactly.
Just so that you don't get yourself into like any like situations where you're like messing your feet up or whatever, stepping in dog poop or whatever. That could be crazy. I would imagine that would just ruin a person's day, like doing that. Like everything's going well, and then you do that, you're like, oh no.
It does break the moment, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so now in this moment right now, could we see what your feet look like?
Sure.
Okay, cool. And you said you were a 9 to a 9.5.
Yeah,
right?
about that.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm gonna have you, if you can, if you can scoot back a little bit, and I'm gonna have you if you can put your feet up here so we can see. And when's the last time you had a pedicure?
Ooh, like maybe 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you still rocking
Yeah.
It still looks good. Nice. And I can tell you have the imprint from like
you can see the flip-flop B.
You would always tell people about that. That tanning there, it's like adding like definition to your feet, right?
It's like my own tattoo.
Absolutely. Okay, would you mind taking that one off?
Yeah, sure.
Have you put them both here? Cool. All right, cool. And if you could put them both down like flat, so we could. I want to try to see your toe alignment. Okay. I don't know if you've ever heard like there's different toe alignments that everybody has like on their feet. Have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Do you know what yours is? Have you ever tried to look it up?
I haven't.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you right now. So your three top toes, they're almost like the same size.
Right.
That's the Roman toe alignment.
Right.
So there's an Egyptian, there's a Grecian, which is like a Greek toe.
Mm-hmm.
That second toe is a little bit longer. But you have the Roman. Absolutely. Cool. And they look like they're in nice order. It looks like you do take care of them. I can tell.
Yeah,
like,
got a little hook toe at the end, which my husband calls it.
It's
It
all
curls
good, it's all
in.
Good. Cool. Would you mind? Can you like stretch feet out and let's see the bombs like kind of flex your feet up like this? Okay. And then you have a nice. You kind of have a slight arch.
Yep.
Slight arch. Are you okay in heels?
Yeah.
Pain?
No.
Okay. So most women who have like the flat feet, like they tend to get that pain and stuff. And
Oh yeah, no, it's cool.
Cool. All right, cool. Leave it out. We're gonna go through a couple more exercises. Okay, so let me ask you this. We met like 12 minutes ago. Kind of talking. We were going through these questions, taking a look at your feet. What are your thoughts? How you feeling?
Fine.
Cool. And then we kind of talked about how I got it started in my YouTube channel. What are your thoughts about like that type of process? Like we go through, we kind of have a conversation, get to this point. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think your process so far is great. I can definitely understand during the pandemic finding your way in your process and wanting to find something to keep your mind busy and keep yourself entertained. And
yeah, because I got furloughed from my job during quarantine, so it was even harder because it was like I didn't have work to go to, and I'm kind of just like at home. So I was like, what can I do to like just go out and like start something new and like kind of put myself into it, right?
Yeah.
And so, like I said, when I started watching that guy's YouTube channel, and then I kind of like started thinking about some stuff, I was like, okay, why don't I do this? And like, we'll just see how it goes. And
yeah.
Now I'm 2 years in. I've got like almost 26,000 subscribers.
Right.
And like it's just I'm always intrigued by like the conversations I get and the type of like interactions I get from this. It's always really good. Cool. Let's talk about reflexology and then we'll let you get up out of here. Okay.
Okay.
Reflexology is all about the different. We have pressure points in our bodies, right? And like we have them that go through our hands and our feet. Those are our endpoints of our body, and those connect back to like different other parts of our body. Mm-hmm. So like when you go do like massages, you do acupuncture, you do acupressure, you like alleviate tension to like those different parts of your body. So let's say, for example, you're somebody who deals with migraines. Like there's a lot of people who deal with those heavily. It's actually a portion of your hands and feet you can massage that will alleviate that tension. Now it doesn't dissipate and go away immediately. Yeah. But over time, like you can kind of start to feel like the pressure going down. What are your thoughts about that? How do you feel about like that type of practice where it can go from like you having all this tension to like kind of like alleviating it over time through like simple massages and things like that? Oh
yeah, I've heard of reflexology before. I do yoga, nice. So it's definitely something that has a lot of validity. I don't think it's researched enough in the medical field. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think that it's something that should be given a little bit more attention.
Absolutely. And I think here in the United States, especially, a lot of people are more focused into Western, like, type of, like, methods and stuff when it comes to, like, doing that type of stuff. That's more Eastern, like, over in Asia and things like that. They tend to, like, feel a little bit differently, and they try more holistic methods and stuff like that. Absolutely. So, usually when we get to reflexology, we usually like to talk about sensitivity, okay? How sensitive would you say you are? Like, when you go get pedicures and stuff, are you, like, really ticklish? Or
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you mind if we tested it? I have a tool to use. I just want to see, like, if we can test that out. Cool? All right. So, what I want you to do is just tell me which foot you feel it on the most, and then tell me what part of your foot is most sensitive, okay?
Okay.
Cool. All right, so let's start to right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Where do you feel this at the most?
Up at the top.
So, like, in here?
Yeah.
Not so much in your arch, not at the bottom?
Not so much, yeah.
Tell me about your left. Let me see if this one is worse, all right? This one's a little bit more sensitive?
Yeah.
I noticed you start moving, like, right away.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you a trick to use.
Okay.
What I want you to do, while I'm doing it, wiggle your toes. You tell me if you feel it more or less.
Okay.
Wiggle? More or less?
Less.
Do you know why?
No.
All right, so think about it like this, all right? We talked about all those endpoints that we have, right? They connect back to other parts of our body, right? Our brain sends signals, right, to do stuff. So when I told you to wiggle your toes, you started wiggling. You're not so much thinking about, like, what's happening, right?
Right.
You're more focused on that. So it's almost like a distraction.
Because your brain's moving.
Correct. But
right.
also, because you're, like, wiggling your toes, you're, like, sending energy. I'm also sending energy, so the energy cancels out.
Right.
That's a trick for you that you can do when you go get your pedicure, right?
Nice.
Let's try your left, because you said this was more sensitive, all right? And then just tell me if you feel it more or less.
Yeah, definitely less.
What did it go down to? Because I would imagine it was at a certain point.
Yeah, I would say it was at an 8 and it went down to like a 5.
Sweet. Okay, last part, we're going to try a couple exercises with your feet. I just want you to tell me if you feel pain or discomfort when you're doing it. So put both feet out again. All right, what I want you to do first, bend your toes, make a fist, tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Is that easy to do, hard to do?
It's easy to do.
Okay.
I can grab things with my feet.
All right, relax. All right, spread your toes, tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Easy? Okay, relax. And then just wiggle for like 10 seconds, tell me if you feel any pain, discomfort happening after a while.
No.
Pretty easy, standard? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up. All right, so first question I want to ask you, in terms of my approach, when I walked up, I asked you to do the interview. Did you feel my approach was good, bad? How did you feel about it?
No, it's great. Your energy is great. I think you're very easily approachable. I mean, you had a really nice smile, really welcome.
Appreciate
so, I mean, yeah, it was really nice.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. In terms of like the interview questions I asked, the flow of it, did you feel like it was good? Did you feel like you learned some stuff from like what we were talking about? How'd you feel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Last thing I always ask, is there anything you can say to people who like, when it comes to like trying new things, they may have like some fears and they might not want to do it because they don't know what's going to happen. Like, what's helped you in the past?
I always feel like even though new things can be scary, sometimes that's when you can find out most about yourself.
Okay.
And you can always find something unexpected. And that's when sometimes the best things can happen. So whether it's something good or something bad of the outcome, you can always find out something about yourself. So it's always beneficial to try something new.
Yeah, and I think you don't want to get yourself into a situation where you're like just doing the same thing over and over again because it's not fresh, right?
Yeah.
And like your brain can't really grow that way. Like you tend to like become stagnant in all your actions and stuff like that. So thank you so much. Appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much for sitting down doing this interview with us.
Absolutely.
Right? And we hope that you have a great one, okay?
Thanks, you too.
Are you subscribed to Soulful Discussions yet? If not, subscribe now to see more beautiful girls.